Hi, my name is Hebrew Monk Templar William J. Plank, and I want to make some comments on alien life form here. Ladies and gentlemen, there are 4 known alien life forms on this earth. The first is human life form, which is Earthman, which no longer exists. Its life form was completely mutated when we had an encounter, an alien invasion from a alien life form that I like to call Devi-human, which is devil human, John 8:44. Lucifer, a second dimensional alien being, stood up to Elohim, the Father of Jesus Christ, a third dimensional immortal alien life form being and Lord of the galaxies, and tried to insinuate that he had dominial rights to do as he pleased. He violated the intergalactical rights of the laws of the universe. And in so doing, he was exiled from third dimensional space, because we know, according to Job chapter 2, that he had legal rights to go forth and confront Elohim in a third heaven, which would be the third dimension. And Elohim exiled him, and he fled, and out of his anger he came to first dimension, which is Earth. There are 4 dimensions to space. First dimension is Earth and the world. Second dimension is the universe and the galaxies and planets. Third dimension is a dimension beyond the stars. And fourth dimension is in the center of Earth, which is Hades, which has a ring of fire that guards it, which is in the core of our Earth. That is the prison chamber that Elohim has formulated in a fourth dimensional portal of time and space that only he himself knows how to control. It's an alien intelligence, an immortal intelligence far beyond anything we know. Going back to the Garden of Eden, there was an invasion in this time, and Eve saw a tree. A tree represents someone of great wisdom. We know this because throughout the scriptures it speaks of growing and becoming oak trees, men of great and renowned education. So we know that the tree of life was definitely representing a superior being that to Eve actually was attractive. It was tempting. We know that the serpent is and represents a cunning, crafty, higher state of life form, and it did not represent a snake, because obviously a snake doesn't have hands, it cannot hand an apple. So therefore the serpent represents a cunning, sly being that was more intelligent than anything of its kind among them. And this being, Lucifer, was more attractive than Adam. And in so, Adam, when Adam was not perceiving, Eve did give in to this higher alien life form. This higher alien life form did rape her mind. He raped her mind with a lie and deception. The art of war is deception, and this was an alien invasion, so he was invading the earth, and he did invade what we would consider the queen of the earth. And he did, to our knowledge, biogenetically mutate her, because God said, for what you have done you are cursed, which could ultimately mean, for what you have done I allow you. You're cursed, which means you've already done the deed, and so forth. So the devil went into Eve and biogenetically mutated her, which according to Mark 10 verse 8 and 9 says the two shall become one flesh. So in so doing, the two become one flesh, and a new breed of human life form occurs. And in so, Lucifer, being a second dimensional alien life form, increased the human species intelligence tremendously, and they were called Nephilim. And in so doing, the Nephilim continued to breed an army, and more Nephilim came. About, more came down after this first one had done his deed, and many more came down and started to breed and breed, and next thing you know, the whole world is crawling with biogenetic mutations. And thus the devil's plan to defend himself against Jesus Christ, who is Elohim's son in the third dimension, who is coming to arrest and cease this earthly invasion, because obviously Elohim, seeing what Lucifer has done, and said to his begotten son, "Holy smokes, look what he's done. He's gone to earth, and now he is raping the human population, and he has mutated them. Oh man, what are we going to do?" And obviously Christ said, "Father, I will go. I will arrest him. I will cease this mutation." And in so doing, Elohim said, "Well, mutate as many as you can into our higher life form, and then kill off the rest, and lock them into Hades, which would be the center of Earth, the fourth dimension." So thus, we have another alien invasion, which is our Savior, Lord, and God. God, in its ultimate, in Hebrew, means these mighty ones. So what else could Earthman call them? They did not no longer know what to call him. So thus, the Devi-human, part devil, part human, or Nephilim, is upon the earth, and the human species prior to Eve's encounter no longer exists on this earth. And this is why we have this new race of being that's got a way more intelligent mind scale, and all of a sudden steel and armor and things are starting to be created, and thus Jesus comes and appears, and he challenges this new mutation, looking for their master, Satan, and they all pose as humans, but they're a higher state of Nephilim being, and they pose as God on Mount Sinai. They pose throughout the scriptures as Lord, 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 but the whole time the true Son of God never set foot upon the earth until Bethlehem. We know this because John chapter 10 verse 34 says, Jesus looked at them and says, "You don't know my Father. For if you knew my Father, you'd also have known me. But since you neither hear nor understand me, you never knew me." So obviously showing that the true Messiah never came to earth until the New Testament covenant, and the New Testament covenant completely purifies the Old Testament anti-truth, which means half-truth. We know that the being who appeared on Mount Sinai, who posed as God, said "I am" 3 times in the book of Isaiah. It states that the devil, I do believe that's in Isaiah chapter 14, states that the I ams, he says "I am," and Christ, Father Elohim, exiled him. And in his exile, because he kept posing as "I am," he came to earth and came as an angel of light. And it says in the scriptures that the devil can appear as an angel of light, as a bright and shiny one. So on Mount Sinai, what was perceived as fire was literally a manifestation of Lucifer's power as a bright and shiny one, and he did give Moses the 10 Commandments, because in the 10 Commandments, Lucifer knew the 10 Commandments. He knows the scriptures better than anyone. He has hung out with God many times in his presence, so he knows the eternal laws of the universe. So on Mount Sinai he appears, and he says, "I'm going to give this young boy that I have mutated into my species these 10 Commandments of the universe, because he will ultimately follow them, which will ultimately make him believe that I am exactly who I am posing to be, and then thus what happens then is, sorry about that, is that right after the 10 commandments were given, the devil tricked humankind again, and he said, hey, go down there and kill half the Israelites, and thus half the Nephilim at that time were wiped off, because Lucifer created them and Lucifer would kill them. The true God doesn't believe in death, didn't want death, and Jesus came to correct this, and he said, look, love your enemy, do good unto him, and so forth. So as this unfolds, Jesus invades the earth, and he is a higher state of being, and he offers this new mutation, which are Devi human. Every single one of them is a Devi human. He says, hey, my Father in heaven knows, Ephesians 1:11, who I have to mutate and who I don't. So basically the message is, listen, I've come down here to arrest the devil, lock him into hell. I am going to mutate those my Father shows me to mutate into a higher state of being, because you will ultimately accept my offer. You will come into water baptism. You will receive the highest state of alien intelligence you've ever seen, called quantum leap transformation mutation. You'll go underwater, and underwater you'll come out, and we'll lay our higher state of alien life power upon you, and you will be transmutated in the blink of an eye into a higher state of being, which is called a Christian, or what is called a Jesus human life form, which is a total transformation of Devi human. We look the same, but we are totally not the same within. So thus those that are mutated into Jesus life form will go with Christ and live in a intergalactic dimensional kingdom that is not the third dimension of heaven with Elohim. No one will ever know Elohim or Elohim's world. It is eternity. Elohim lives in eternity. Jesus says, I go and prepare a place for you. The place he's going to prepare is not the same place he came from, ladies and gentlemen. It is a new place, a new kingdom that Christ is building so that he may rule this mutation that he has offered to leave eternity and rule over. So we are going to a new dimensional place that Jesus has created to rule us. All the Devi human here that didn't accept Christ, that were not chosen for transmutation, will remain here on this space station of Earth. They will be slaughtered off by the powers of a higher alien life form, of intelligence, of war, and they will be put in the center of the core of Earth and locked in there with a ring of fire around it for as long as Elohim sees fit. This is the deepest, purest, and truest teaching I have ever found in my studies in the world. And there are scriptures that line from one end of the universe to the other that completely explain what I've said. I have not handed out every single piece of scripture to you, but you can take all this knowledge and you will find that every inch of it, if you study it thoroughly, as I have, as a monk, you will know that every inch of it is true. The true church, the true alien life form of Jesus Christ people is Hebrew Melchizedek. It's Hebrews 7:17. This alien ruler made a decree, and when a king makes a decree, we cannot change it. He said, you are a priest forever after the order of Hebrew Melchizedek. Melchizedek means kings of right, which means knights of right. I am a Templar knight of the Teutonic order of the Hebrew. I am half Native Indian and half German. And when you unite that together and then receive mutational transformation through baptism, John 3:16, John 14:6, John 3:3, then and only then can you understand what I'm talking about. Ladies and gentlemen, we have a higher alien immortal ruler who is going to mutate many of us, and many of us are not going to be mutated. The ones that are not going to be mutated are going to definitely go in the center of Earth in a dimensional portal called, I call Dimension 4, which is the core of Earth. Even fire itself is a portal. If you step into a blazing fire, you will definitely teleport. Where you go, only Elohim knows. And it's been written in the scriptures that if Elohim doesn't want you to leave, even, the fire will not harm you. Chew on that for a while. Anyhow, thank you for your time. This is a Hebrew, Melchizedek, German, Teutonic, Supersonic, Templar Knight, Monk of Jesus Christ Kingdom. Thank you.